And in a way, I'm relieved because then I would have to kind of like, take my name off the Doors fan club or something. Like, how can I be a fan of the Doors if I didn't know this song? And then definitely at the end when it's Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Into the Music. Like, subscribe. And that said, I'm here to listen to a song that I think Chris has for me today.
All right. Hey, folks. Today I got a song for Greg by The Doors. It's called Not to Touch the Earth. And I think it's quite a treat. It's a song you don't hear too often. So
that's the thing. Well, that song. The thing is this, that was a challenge for me because I like the Doors a lot. And so I didn't think that you're going to give me a song title that I wasn't really familiar with.
It was hard finding a song that I thought you might not know of theirs.
Well, the song title is definitely not familiar to me. Okay. So that said, I'm worried that maybe if I start clicking on the song, I'm going to know it, but I guess I'll handle it when that time comes.
Even if you heard it before, it's probably been a long time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, again,
I guess we'll find out, right?
We'll find out. So let me go off and I'll come back and let you know. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so just by the song title, and here's the thing, I was disappointed in myself because with the song title, I'm like, I don't know this song, and disappointed in myself because I like the Doors a lot, and I'm like, how do I not know this song? So, but these first few keys, the first 10 seconds of the song, this sounds familiar. So let's go.
Not to touch the earth, not to see the sun, nothing left to do but run, 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 let's run.
Alright, I don't know this.
Let's run.
Okay. Let's run.
House upon the hill, moon is lying still, shadows of the trees, witnessing the wild breeze. Come on, baby, run with me. Let's run, run with me, run with me, run with me, let's run.
Okay, sorry to yin-yang back and forth here. So I know this song, and I had to let Chris know. I do know it. It's not one that I'm really familiar with, so I think this is actually from an album that I guess it's Waiting for the Sun, so I'm not really familiar with this particular album, so that's probably what it is. But it's cool, and I love the Doors, so let's keep going.
The mansion is warm at the top of the hill, rich are the rooms and the comforts there. Red are the arms of luxuriant chairs, and you won't know a thing till you get inside. Dead president's corpse in the driver's car, the engine runs on through and
king.
This is
I can do anything.
so. This is the song that has that line. I'm the Lizard King. Okay, I should definitely know this song. I know it. I just don't know it really, really well. That's a heck of a song. Okay, so as I suspected, I know the song. Okay.
Ah, man.
The good news, there's good news here.
Okay.
Okay. The good news is kind of what I think you were thinking too, when I was like fretting about it before I went off, um, that it's something that I really am not totally familiar with. Like those
Yeah.
first keys, dee, 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 dee,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like I know this, right? And then I stopped it and probably annoyed the audience for like, the first minute because I stopped it and then I'm like, I think I know the song, but let's go on. And then I'm like, no, I don't think I know the song. And then I'm like, no, I definitely know the song.
That's
And then I
you
tried to
know.
let it just go the rest of the way so like people wouldn't be
Yeah.
throwing tomatoes virtually through at me and
Yeah.
through the computer.
Well,
Because
a well-rehearsed reaction would not be a reaction, So,
right. And we don't
but
want
yeah,
that.
as long as
We don't want that.
that's how it is. You don't know how it's going to be till you hear it.
And in a way, I'm relieved because then I would have to kind of like, take my name off the Doors fan club or something. Like, how can I be a fan of the Doors if I didn't know this song? And then definitely at the end when it's like, I am the Lizard King. I'm like, how would I
Yeah,
not
I guess
know
that
this
would be the
song?
bit people
Yeah.
remember. Yeah,
But it
but
is
it's not something you hear on the radio.
I
You go to
know,
classic rock
right.
station.
And
It's not one of their, part of the canon. Let's say,
it's not an album that I've actually really have, dabbled in that much,
Yeah,
so definitely know that line. It's iconic, right? Or whatever the
yeah,
word, like, it.
right.
Even if you're not a Doors fan, you like, Blizzard King, it's like, in a King Kong movie, fighting King Kong, or it's Jim Morrison, it's either one,
It's a reptilian version of King Kong.
So,
Okay, here's a good transition then.
yeah.
Okay, this was part of, I'm looking it up here. It was, the site I'm looking at says this song was originally part of a song called Celebration of the Lizard, which
Yes.
never made it, the longer piece never made it onto the album, only this section of it.
Right. And
Now,
when I looked up the lyrics, it actually had that first part, like Celebration of the Lizard. I'm like, I don't think I saw that on the YouTube. Watch someone, and definitely
right.
please. They'll be like, Greg, I was looking at it like you were, and it says
Yeah.
Celebration of the Lizard, but that's interesting.
I'd like
Yeah.
to listen to the whole thing though. You can get that on other, it's
Yeah.
out there. Somewhere.
So that song was, they didn't try to fool you, trick you with any kind of major transitions. Some of the stuff we've been
Really?
listening to.
I thought there were some serious transitions there.
I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like it
Well,
was kept driving.
It did, but the
Yeah.
intent, okay, maybe not transition. Well, it's all a transition, but it's still, I guess it, like the verse, each verse was the same, but it got so much more intense as each verse went on,
Right.
and you got that intro part, not to touch the earth, not to see the sun. That was
Right.
separate from the rest of it. Then it went into a verse. Then it had the chorus,
Sure.
Run With Me, and
Can I clarify?
you may clarify.
And thank you. And it's by full disclosure for the audience. This reaction review, comes right after we did one for Uriah Heep, and that was like progressive, and that's got, and progressive music is usually chock full of transitions, and that. So when I said that the transition thing, I was meaning more in the context of like progressive. It was different. No, of course it had like it sort of moved into this and came back and went into that. No, absolutely, there was some surprises.
Well, what stood out,
But
stood out to me as far as so speaking of the transitions, is that your typical, I know we throw these terms around, and I hope people listening realize that we use these loosely. There's no strict categories as when we use these terms.
Yeah.
But when you think of typical progressive rock, they're usually fairly long songs.
Yes.
To get all those transitions in, where we talked about this with a Black Sabbath song, where
Right.
you give enough of it, you have to give enough of it to the listener, for
Right.
each transitionary part. or each part you transition into, let's say.
Yeah.
But this one, it's a song that's just barely under 4 minutes. They got a lot of things going on, within that 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and you got that surprise ending. That's unexpected too. With the
Yes.
Lizard King part.
Yeah.
But Jim Morrison was a voracious reader. Okay.
Yeah.
And apparently he read a book called by James Frazier who was an anthropologist. He wrote a book called The Golden Bough, and it was about mythology and so on, anthropology, mythology,
Yeah.
things that are common between cultures, the typical archetypal myths. Okay. And apparently Jim Morrison was very influenced by that book. I remember I read that when I was a teenager, and then parts of it were fascinating, but I later found out that a lot of people, there's controversy over the book. How true is his take on Frazier's take on this mythology.
Yeah.
Okay, saying all that, I just want to get to the apparently the first two lines are taken from names of chapters in that book. Not
Okay.
to touch the earth.
Yeah.
Not to see the sun. Now, as far as
It's taken
Go
from
ahead.
that book. Okay.
What do you think of the lyrics? What was your impression of the lyrics?
Poetry. That it's especially like, what was the part here that just took me, like, the mansion is warm at the top of the hill, rich are the rooms and the comforts there, red are the arms of luxuriant chairs, and you won't know a thing till you get inside. And then he gets into the dead president's corpse, and
I like that line the best. That
that
president's
line,
corpse.
yeah, yeah,
The engine runs on glue and tar. I have no idea what it means. I guess he's referring to Kennedy, but because Kennedy was still fresh in people's minds then.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, this is from 1968, by the way, from what's the name of the album?
Waiting for the Sun, right?
Waiting for the Sun. Thank you. Yeah, 1968.
How do you not know that?
So that was only 68 was 5 years after Kennedy got shot.
And 68 was when, and this was probably written before that event, but his brother Robert Kennedy got shot in 68, and of course
Came
he
out in
wasn't
April of
president.
68.
Yeah,
So I don't know what part of the year he got killed.
yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
So, but
assassinations
still
were pretty
fresh.
rampant back
Yeah,
then.
but even John Kennedy's death was still, I think, at that time was still fresh, and especially with his brother who was running, like the Kennedys was still way, in the picture.
The I guess the strangeness of it goes perfectly with the music, because this is unsettling song musically. It's like menacing, man, and
Right.
it's just off kilter. It's a
So what is
got a
with the
weirdness
run with
to it.
me? So what is, because it starts off with run with me, and then it's like, and then at the end of the song it's like run, like that is, and that's
where it's like,
that's what you
it's
get.
not
But
like
the
it's not like
song's
let's
going
go
crazy.
frolic. It's just like let's
Right.
run the hell away.
It's like, are we running? Are they running away? Are they running towards something? Are they running away from something? Is it both? You're running away from
you got me.
from all this turmoil, all this what was going on at that time, and running towards something better, or yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to know, though, to be honest with you. Like, I might have mentioned this in some other reaction and reviews we've done, that sometimes I don't want to know what the lyrics mean because it gets too specific, and I want to
Leave it to your own interpretation.
I wanted
Absolutely.
my mind to go where I want it to go,
Right.
based on the lyrics. I don't want to know, oh, this is based on this, because then every time I hear it, I'll think about that.
But aren't you intrigued at least to know what it may have been about, or what might have inspired him, or just at least
I don't know till I hear what the answer is.
see, I like breadcrumbs.
But sometimes it's something much more banal than you think it's going to be, and then you
Right.
think of that. Whereas the scope of what the lyrics do to you is like this, and then it's like, oh, but it came from a seed that's this big.
See, I think I'm with you on that. Although I like breadcrumbs, put down on the ground, just get me to a little bit to, like, what he may or she may have been, they may have actually been thinking when they wrote the song, because I think that it helps me sort of, I don't know, because they're telling a story, right? So it's like, anything like with a novel, with a film, I don't want to just sit there and just be like, well, where the hell are they going with this, So I want to have an idea of where they were going at least, and then, leave it up to my interpretation. It could be my own ending. It could be my own thing, I
But
mean,
there
there's
are
been a few
some,
songs already where we reacted to that, like,
yeah.
after I reacted, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, I was like, I made a
But
left turn and I should have made the right. Yeah.
I'm going to sound like an egghead here because sometimes I guess I am. But some literary theorists, their belief is that anything, any work, any piece of work should be able to stand on its own without you having to look at any references. So I guess that's kind of my approach. Sometimes I'm curious. We're like, how was this inspired? And I don't know.
You're
I guess you're still free to believe what you want, but unfortunately, once I know something,
right.
it's like, oh, I do go to that narrower meaning once I know that. So
Yeah.
I just like the broad kind of lyrics. It's one of the reasons I like the lyrics for a lot of Pink Floyd songs, because
Right.
they're broad and they can be they're these big topics, and I don't want to hear that. Oh, Roger Waters got the idea for Time because his watch broke.
Yeah. No, and Jim Morrison was definitely he was the king lizard, but
He
also
was
just
the Lizard King,
he was the
man.
lizard king of
He was the
these
Godzilla of his day.
kind of songs, where he would, again, very abstract like, and it would just, it would really it would give you the job, if you liked it or not, to figure out what the song meant, and
Sure.
they were, and like you said, Pink Floyd, the same. I actually think that as an artist, you're really achieving. You don't want like, you want to leave the audience guessing a bit, right? You don't
You
want
what?
them to
Say that again?
you want the audience really guessing, like you don't want them to completely see, like, right away in the first act, like, what this thing is about,
Oh,
for the most part, you know,
right.
for the most part, I guess
Well,
sometimes, but leave them sort of, let us think. You know what, too, I think that probably even enhances the experience, right? So because you want to listen to it again, listen to it again, and listen to it again, and you try to figure out, what you think the song is about. And yeah, although I guess that didn't really happen to me with the song, because I'm like, it's been around, what, for 50 years now, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, this song. But hey,
yeah,
better late than never, right?
but yeah, yeah. But I'm glad you weren't that familiar with this song.
Yeah, me too, for this reaction.
That's
Yeah,
for this reaction.
but I
Um,
am ashamed, though. I've called myself a Doors fan, but anyway.
but I'm glad we covered this because I don't think it's one that there's some really good reaction videos out there on YouTube with the Doors, but this isn't one I've seen yet.
Okay,
So
cool.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Maybe
Well,
they'll review it too. Get
we
some other
like
opinions on it.
we like to think we're a little against the grain, on certain things. So,
Yes,
not
but we are definitely inspired by the other reaction videos. So kudos to all you doing it out there.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, and something I want to say.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to say this in our videos. If you like the music, definitely purchase it in some form, because just to keep this music. I know this is old stuff, but people still created it for our enjoyment, and it's just I don't see the point of um, yeah, file sharing anyway. You can everything's pretty cheap now, so just to keep good music from dying out, and supporting the people who provide us entertainment. Just show them how much you love it by buying something very
Do you,
cheap.
so I just found this out. I think it just happened. It was called Buying Record Store Day. And it was, I think it just happened just the other day, October 24th, I think, where basically it was a day where, nationally it was encouraging people to go out and buy records, support your bands, your favorite bands, performers.
Yeah.
by going out and buying the records, and I think actually going into stores where there's still physical record stores,
Yeah, that's the
that
challenge.
sell the
They should give
CDs
them
and
a
the
week
vinyl.
because that's how long
Yeah,
it'll take them to find one that sells them.
right. So I def so I
Well,
def go ahead.
no, I that's good, man. That's good.
I definitely echo what Chris said. Absolutely. Let's, this is great and we're sharing stuff and we're analyzing it, but if you
So
like the music, go out and own it and support the artists.
is that national Buy a Record Day or is it international?
I don't know.
Very
I think,
important distinction.
right? It could be a global thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I'm going to step back from like
They
identifying
have
a
a
global.
national day for everything.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
tomorrow's National Butt Scratching Day, actually.
That's every
Keep
day
that
for
in
me
mind.
here, but
You know,
anyway.
one day out of the year that you can do that in public.
I don't celebrate it, but yeah, it happens.
On that
Anyway.
lofty note,
Thank you, everyone.
away we go.
Away we go.